Missouri is signing a big check this year, a $1.25 million one, but it just might help save lives in time of disaster. Good afternoon, I'm Landon Burke.
And I'm Lauren Donovan. The Missouri Task Force is receiving $1.25 million from the state for the first time. The money will be coming from the Missouri Department of Public Safety. KOMU 8's Nina Amaden is in the studio to tell us how the money will help the task force save lives.
The Missouri Task Force was created in 1997, and in its 19 years of existence, it's always been federally funded. Well, not anymore. Today, the task force announced it will get more than $1 million to help send the force all over the country and fund training. The Missouri Task Force is one of 28 of its kind in the country. The force is sent to disasters all over the nation, ranging from events like 9/11 to more local disasters like the Joplin tornado. It's been funded by the federal government. Until now, the group received $1.25 million in order to better train staff as well as help get their people out to disasters more quickly.
When you get a Joplin or an event like that, even though it's in the state of Missouri and geographically they're very close by, because it is reimbursed through the federal government, there are rules and guidelines that they have to go through first before they can really deploy, and sometimes that can be a little bit slow.
The task force previously had to wait for the federal government to send them out on a mission. But with this addition, Missouri now has that power. Here you can see the task force training. Before the additional money was given to the group, they had to rely on the National Guard and others to help fund training.
Having appropriate funding to be able to support practical field exercises is going to be critical to our success and our preparedness.
One man told me he used to worry about the Boone County Fire Protection District's finances if the unit ever had to be sent to a situation. The money had to be fronted and then reimbursed by the federal government.
Well, it means to me that our personnel in the fire district will be taken care of financially immediately, during and immediately after the disaster.
The group is hoping this money will help better protect Missourians. Nina Amaden, KOMU 8 News, Boone County. The task force typically gets about $1.1 million from the federal government every year, but Senator Schaefer told me this additional money will help give the state of Missouri more control.
We had some much needed rain in the past 24 hours. Now let's send it over to Kenton for a look at rain totals.
All right, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. We have seen some rain since we talked last. Let's take a look at those. So this is from about the past 30 hours now. You can see right around a half an inch at the Columbia Regional Airport, but more in city because it was actually a bit heavier in the city of Columbia. So right around an inch there on the MU campus. Jefferson City, only a quarter of an inch, but Moberly, by far, wins out here on this list. Above 2 inches of rainfall for those folks. Otherwise, Vandalia, right around 40 hundredths, and we're looking at Sedalia right around half an inch, and not much for Lake of the Ozarks or Versailles. Flooding wise, that's all pretty much to the northwest of our viewing area where that aerial flooding is, where that bright green box is. They saw about 3 to 7 inches in that region, and so the Grand River there in that darker green going towards Brunswick from Chillicothe is going to rise about 20 feet actually in the next between now and the next about 24 hours. Otherwise, looking at our satellite and radar, we're not seeing much out there right now. A lot of sunshine hour by hour on our weather app. We're at 86 by 8 p.m. and tomorrow it's going to be another hot one. We're at 73 by sunrise, 97 in the afternoon, and we have a heat advisory in effect. Full forecast coming up later in the show.
Here's what's happening right now. Basement floodings, backyard floodings, and sewer backups. That's what several residents living on Agan and Worley Streets have been experiencing for the past several years. Columbia City Council members discussed a proposal to buy a home on Agan Street to help fix that problem. KOMU 8's Hai Lee Yang is live in the studio to tell us more about the proposal.
Well, Worley and Agan Street residents have been trying to get help from the city for years with their flooding and sewer backup problems, but buying one home may help. This was Carrie Watson's backyard about a year ago. She says the flooding is caused by the Boone County Health Department's parking lot.
Even in a light rain, the water, well, heavy rain, the water just rushes over this drain into the street. One home, when the cars go by, it sends a wall of water into their home. It comes very close to their electrical box.
The water on Worley Street then washes behind to Agan Street, causing floods in residents' homes and backyards. The solution? Buying Watson's house.
There's sewer equipment under her house, or sewer pipes under her house that they want to make changes to.
This won't be the first time the city is purchasing a home on Agan Street. In 2003, they bought out 1107 Agan Street, the house next to Watson's. The property is now a stormwater drainage system. During Monday's city council meeting, Mayor Brian Treese told Watson he doesn't think buying her house will solve the problem.
I see the problems with your home being the symptomatic observations of that problem. I don't see the buyout of your home fixing the problems.
Watson agrees.
It's unfortunate, but hopefully City Council looks into it to determine which homes that they can save and which ones they need to tear down.
Lee Yang, KOMU 8 News, Columbia. Columbia City Council members will vote on whether or not to buy Watson's house on July 5th.
New information about the suspicious death in Callaway County yesterday. Authorities have identified the victim as 34-year-old Stephen Mullins of Columbia. Deputies discovered his body inside a parked car yesterday. The discovery came after officers received concerned calls from nearby residents. Police found him inside the parked car on the side of County Road 268 around 12:30 yesterday afternoon. Authorities suspect foul play was involved. They say the case is being investigated as a murder. The Mid-Missouri Major Case Squad has been activated in response to yesterday's discovery. An autopsy was set to be performed. We'll continue to update you as we know more information. interim president Mike Middleton spoke at a National Press Club breakfast in Washington, D.C. today. He spoke about the protest on Mizzou's campus last fall that prompted the resignation of MU's Chancellor Lofton and President Wolf. Speaking in front of a crowd of mostly system staff and students, Middleton said he believes Mizzou will be able to overcome its negative image.
We're all in it together, and we're all here to learn and grow. And I think if we're all honest with each other and listen to each other and are as transparent as we can be in discussing and finding solutions to problems, we'll all be a lot better off.
While some places are dealing with flooding, wildfires continue to burn in Southern California today. The Fish and Reservoir fires, which make up the San Gabriel Complex fire, have scorched more than 8 square miles of land. Nearly 800 residents have been forced from their homes near the San Gabriel Mountains. Hundreds of firefighters are battling the blaze.
We're out there working hard on the fire lines today. We're a little short on resources because of the fire up north and the fire down south, but we are getting resources in as we speak.
Despite high temperatures and dry conditions, officials hope to have the fires fully contained within 24 hours.
New details continue to come out of Orlando as the investigation into the worst mass shooting in U.S. history continues to unfold.
Today, Attorney General Loretta Lynch traveled to the crime scene for the first time since the attack. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest.
Streets are opening up again around the crime scene now, the footprint of the investigation shrinking, while the scope for investigators seems to be growing. More than a week after the massacre in Orlando, we're learning more about the self-proclaimed Islamic warrior, Omar Mateen. Federal agents say he was in the Pulse nightclub briefly around midnight, then returned 2 hours later to carry out his killing spree.
I'm shocked even till now.
Muhammad Malik considered himself a friend, even a mentor to Mateen. He says 2 years ago, Mateen told him he had been watching radical Muslim sermons online.
This is something that raised a red flag, and when he told me they were powerful, that raised it even higher, to where I went back to the FBI. I told them that he had seen these videos, and he was somebody he should be watched.
Malik says he never heard from the FBI after his initial call and assumed there was nothing to worry about until that night.
That's the first thing that goes through your mind is innocent people got hurt.
Attorney General Loretta Lynch visited families of the victims and survivors today in Orlando and announced the Justice Department would provide an additional $1 million in emergency funds for the area as investigators continue to search for some kind of motive in the attack.
This was clearly an act of terror and an act of hate. We will look at all motivations and hope to come to a conclusion there.
An effort that, just like the recovery, will be difficult and take a long time. Jay Gray, NBC News.
4 separate gun control proposals were killed in the U.S. Senate. Democrats and Republicans both offered plans that would prevent terrorists from getting guns and involve expanding background checks. 60 votes were needed for any of the measures to pass. Democrats say Republican proposals are weak, and Republicans say Democratic proposals are too restrictive. A bipartisan group of senators hopes to introduce a bill that would prevent suspected terrorists from buying weapons. The group, led by Republican Senator Susan Collins, held a news conference today, saying their proposal offers a common-sense solution to preventing terrorists from purchasing guns. There's still no word from Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on the timing of the vote.
Today, Donald Trump revealed his campaign is surprisingly low on money. This comes after Trump recently fired his campaign manager. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is sitting on $42 million, $52 in her super PAC, to Trump's under $2 million total. Today, Trump met with nervous Christian conservatives and put out his first fundraising email. However, he says Republicans are not contributing.
I'm having more difficulty, frankly, with some of the people in the party than I have with the Democrats, because they don't want to come on.
Currently, Trump trails Clinton in 2 battleground states with fewer staff and less money. Coming up Thursday on KOMU 8 News at noon, Town Square is digging deep into your thoughts about gun control. We asked you to take our online survey, and close to 1,000 of you have responded. We'll bring you those results, plus we'll hear from both sides of this very polarizing issue. Remember, you drive the discussion. Stay tuned to KOMU 8 News at noon this Thursday.
The last 4 days, it's a madhouse.
America's big day is coming up in less than 2 weeks, and Missourians are getting ready to celebrate with a bang. And you're taking a live look right now over Jefferson City. Your time is now 5:10 here on your Tuesday afternoon. KOMU 8 News first at 5. We'll be back in a moment.
The First Alert Weather Cam is brought to you by your Heart of Missouri Chevy dealers.
Welcome back to KOMU 8 News First at 5. A beautiful look at the Lake of the Ozarks on our First Alert Weather Cam. Plenty of blue sky. Looks like a full lake to me, and we also have a nice look at, again, the blue sky. But let's take a look at our temperatures. It's very warm. We're at 89 in Columbia, 88 at Jeff City, 90 over in Boonville, 92 in Versailles. It's warmer the farther to the southwest you go, and that's where we have the highest dew points, or most likely the highest dew points as well, even though we're having a dew point at 73 in Columbia, 72 at Jeff City. Again, the higher above that 70-degree mark you go, that's more humidity that we have that we can really feel. It's 76 up in Macon, though, at this point, meaning it's probably feeling a lot warmer than that actual temperature. It's feeling like 97 in Columbia and 95 at Jefferson City and like 98 down at Lake of the Ozarks. So we are going to have even warmer temperatures tomorrow, and the humidity is going to be fairly similar as well. So you can expect those heat indices even higher. Winds right now are from the southwest, are about 13 miles an hour, and tomorrow the winds are actually going to be even higher, more like what we're seeing over in Kansas right now, gusting up to 20 to 25 miles an hour. So more of a breeze tomorrow, but a lot of that heat over in Kansas is moving in our direction as well. Not a lot on satellite and radar. We're seeing a lot of sunshine. And if we back out and look at the big picture, we have a warm front just right over the top of us here in mid-Missouri that actually helped to provide the shower and thunderstorm activity we had in the past 30 hours. But now it's starting to move back up to the north. And as that happens, all of these winds from the south are bringing in heat and humidity back in a big way, and it's really going to be able to show tomorrow. Again, those temperatures over in Kansas moving more in our direction here in the next 24 hours. So we can track this here hour by hour with our weathercast. And so as we head into tomorrow morning, by 6 a.m., we're still seeing a lot of sunshine. Rain is over here to our north. Again, that warm front by now is up to our north, providing that rain chance for the Great Lakes region and tomorrow and even the day after that, actually. And then as we head towards 4 p.m., you can see all of these warmer temperatures, hotter temperatures, humidity moving back in. And we're just waiting. This is actually a cold front just up to our north where it's cooler on the backside of it. We're waiting for that to finally swing through, and it will on Wednesday night and early on Tuesday morning. But likely it's going to be a dry frontal system. You can see just a few clouds kind of in a line there. That is that cold front, and you can see it is cooler behind it, but it's still going to be a warm night for us there as we start Thursday morning. And then as we head into Thursday afternoon, a bit cooler, but again, it's pretty weak cold front, so it's not going to cool us down all that much, but it will take some humidity away, so that's nice at least. Overnight tonight, a low temperature around 73 degrees. We're looking at south winds about 4 to 8 miles an hour. A few passing passing clouds, maybe a sprinkle, but I'm really not expecting it. Only 20% chance for that. 97 tomorrow, but a heat index between 100 and 106 with gusts up to 25 miles per hour. 92 on Thursday and Friday as well. Again, just a bit cooler because of that cold front. And then throughout the weekend, we're still in the middle and lower 90s. Slight chances for rain in the next couple days, but our next best chance will be on Sunday. Here's that 8-day feels like forecast, a heat index for the next 8 days, feeling like 103 tomorrow.
Biggest day is tomorrow, but then after that, we should get a little bit of relief, a few degrees, at least it feels like.
It will be relief rather than getting worse.
Okay,
so that's good.
That's a good way to look at it.
There you go.
All right, thank you. Well, the 4th of July marks America's birthday.
But that's not all it marks. How Missourians plan to celebrate this holiday with a boom.
The 4th of July is less than 2 weeks away, and it's not too late to get your fireworks. KOMU 8's Jordan McGee joins us now with a look at a booming business.
Missouri is one of 21 states with seasonal selling dates for fireworks. This year's session opened Monday and will last until July 10th. There are more than 1,200 seasonal retailers in the state, and one store owner says the first few days are slow, but as the 4th of July approaches, he gets more business than he can handle.
We tried in our catalogs that we put out, come early. We got the same products, the same prices, and we can handle you better. And you got time to look around and all that. The last 4 days, it's a madhouse.
Giroux told me he doesn't think business is slow in the beginning because people are lazy. He says it's because parents can't stop their kids from shooting them off early. So their solution, buy them later.
A new study says people in the U.S. are starting to eat healthier. Find out which foods are helping Americans slim down. Breastfeeding your kids for at least 6 months may be good for your child's behavior. South African researchers found that children who had been solely breastfed for 6 months were less likely to have behavioral issues once they reached elementary school age. That's compared to children who were breastfed for less than 1 month. However, it was unclear if exclusive breastfeeding had any impact on cognitive development. A new survey shows that more Americans are improving their eating habits. A national survey from Tufts University found people were eating more whole grains and fish and fewer sugary beverages. The percentage of people with poor diets has decreased from 56% to 46% over the past few years. However, the same improvements were not seen among Black and Mexican American adults. More and more Americans are suffering from severe nearsightedness, also known as myopia. About 40% of Americans develop some kind of nearsightedness during their lifetime. A new study finds almost 10 million people meet criteria for high myopia. Women have the greatest risk for eye disease that can cause permanent blindness.
They call them man's best friend. Why these pups from Callaway County are being honored. That's next.
Now here's a look at what we're following for KOMU 8 News at 6. Columbia became the first Missouri city to pass ban-the-box legislation over a year ago.
It's supposed to help reform convicts find employment. At 6, we'll take a look at why some employees say it might not be as helpful as it was intended to be. The Callaway Courthouse held a ceremony for therapy dogs today. 5 dogs received certificates for their services of providing anxiety relief for anyone going into the courtroom, especially young children. They also got treats, gifts, and even a cake. The judge who organized the event says the dogs do so much, it was time to do something for them.
That'd be a great day at work for sure. 89 right now in Columbia, a lot of us in the upper 80s and lower 90s still, but feeling warmer, feeling like 105 in Boonville and 97 in Columbia. We do have a heat advisory in effect tomorrow. That's because heat indices could be between 100 and 106. Be ready to hydrate.
Okay, that's our time for now. We'll see you at 6.
Thanks for joining us.
Big fan.
On air, online, on Facebook, on Twitter, on the news app, and the weather app. KOMU 8 News. Coverage you can count on.